Look at that thing. Did you guys remember I came here like 2 years ago or something, maybe 5 years ago? I have no idea. I've lost the track of the whatever the fuck was that. Here, it's fascinating. It's part of the neighborhood. These buildings are completely illegal. I mean, this is a public land or at least farmland or something. Never mind that, but this is a really historical area. So these farms, maybe there is so many artifacts underneath of these things here, or maybe not. I have no plan to go upstairs, but I'm thinking, I'm just expecting there must be those stairs up there. There must be something loose over there. So there's no plan. There's no way you could just walk away upstairs, and it has nothing new you haven't seen before. So if you're using the ethanol alcohol, if you're using the any kind of liquid or whatever, the cream to disinfect against the coronavirus, COVID, or whatever the hell, China virus, Trump virus, whatever you call it, you should thank this guy here. There was this guy, his name was Razi. He was a Muslim chemist, and I'm thinking he was like a Sunni Muslim, not the Shia, Iranian, Persian Muslim types of things. He was a radical Muslim. Back in the day, there was this Islamic State power running all over the Middle East, and according to the Islamic belief, you should have to study the word, because that is your duty as a citizen. What the fuck was that? Fucking nightmare. Right now this neighborhood is fucked up. I mean, with this farming, and there's nothing going on here, and only the poor people just occupy this land. But back in the day, this was a glorious part of the not just the Persia. So I mean, if you just come here to just find this guy, the Razi, this scientist guy, what he was just doing, I mean, what he was contributing to the rest of the world, you cannot find possibly his home, and not only that, you cannot possibly find any history about that guy. I mean, look at this those hills and the mountain over there. They're just been chopped up because it's been used for concrete factory, and those concrete is just made up for building this this massive nonsense city. And there could be lots of history around it. Who knows? And for the people who owns this history, it's fascinating. They have no respect over that. Never mind of that. Argue, so I don't want to get like a nasty comment. I'm possibly gonna upload it for the Iranian part of the community anyway. Never mind. So the Razi guy, who was he was a part of the radical Muslim, who was looking for the idea of making gold out of nothing. Maybe some idea, something like that, because there is nothing much document have left behind. I mean, you could actually refer to those really information anyway. Never mind, I'm just lost my track. I have no idea what the hell is going on here. I mean, I'm seeing lots of trash all around this area, and this highway was really controversial because it's just built up on those historical, possibly artifact sites. Never mind, you would never find those artifacts anyway. I mean, just randomly, look at this. These buildings are just, I mean, you could possibly think of they had permit to build up these buildings. I have no idea. I don't think so. I mean, look at that. They're just made out of nothing. So this concrete just feed up these buildings, or buildings similar to this. Anyway, the idea of this progress is not a new thing. It's going to happen to at any culture, at any country, society, or whatever. It's nothing new, but you know, for 7,000 years, I mean, that is not just a couple of years. You could just ignore it. I mean, there's a sewage system, this canal, or you could just call it a stream or whatever. It brings down the sewage to the gods know where the hell is going. And yeah, this is made from Iranian poops. I don't think you could actually see the poops, but you could see something similar to this at the Venice. You know, those whole glory watery town is just poop town, because those waters are just contaminated with the sewage. Anyway, look at that. There's another building, that historical building over there. There is a Zoroastrian building, and there's a citadel all over this thing. And because they're just made out of the thau, Adobe. If you know the Photoshop, you know the Adobe Photoshop. So this is just made out of the Adobe. So during the period of the long time, they're just completely destroyed and ruined. But you could still see that. So they had this entanglement with each other, is going all over this highway or whatever you could call it, this road. and it's going all over that tiny little building. I don't think you could possibly see that with this camera, because the camera has a fisheye lens. But anyway, and this is concrete factories all over the place. This is the concrete factories, or stone factories, or rock, or just chopping it down or up, whatever. And there's another old building which was a old concrete factory. So this has a really long history of the chopping down this hills that could be really high. I mean, compared to this tiny, the hill, there could be another hills all over this place. We don't know, because there has been reason to make this set-atolls. Never mind. So if you want to make set-atolls, you have to make it to cover for the safety of the region or safety of the town. You have to make it all over the place. So I'm just guessing there has to be another hills right here, but they're just being destroyed for the greed of whomever came up with this idea to just destroy the land. But anyway, it has been going on for a long period of the time, and there's nothing much you could do that today. And I've just heard another, I mean, there are some random stories or reports that have found some artifacts at the middle of the Tehran. And for the Tehran is like in New York. It doesn't have that much history, so it's just surprised the archaeologists and whoever is in charge of the digging up, and they just thought, how the hell these artifacts which has a history over thousands of years, to just been discovered here. And I have no idea what the hell happened, because there was some suggestions they're gonna make a museum around it, but you could think of that. You have to be crazy, because the downtown Tehran, you cannot possibly make it tiny little inch of space to you can't find any space, and you can't just build anything. It's a crazy land. It's the same crazy land like in New York. You're gonna imagine if you have any plan to make another skyscrapers in the middle of the Times Square, just out of nothing. You cannot do that. And making a museum out of nowhere is just there's nothing going on. So I don't know what the hell happened to those reports and what the hell happened to those artifacts. But if you go to the Iranian National Museum, the Museum of the History Museum, I mean, for a country which has a long history, from a little bit here, a little bit there, and there happen to be, it has to be, it's the center of the lots of tribes and lots of other ethnicities and races and whatever. You cannot possibly find anything. I mean, the whole history museum is just one flat at this, like the space of a tiny apartment. So that is the whole Iranian Persian Museum. But these are just resting out of nowhere. If you just come to Iran, and if you're just passing by, if you're just actually adventurous, not one of those fuckers who come to this land, look at that. I mean, that building is just left alone there. It's completely free. You could just come there, you could just go there and visit it at the top of that hill. I mean, you could just walk around this neighborhood. It's completely free, but you're not going to see this. If you just come to Iran, you're going to see one of those crazy Iranian lefties at the northern part of the Tehran. They're going to give you this stupid tour. They're trying to make this image of the Iran is just has its progress. It's just metropolitan area right now, and we're not like our Iranian government. We're dancing and prancing and whatever. But the reality is like this guy, homeless guy, is just walking around to find the plastic bags or whatever the hell he's looking for. And this is a part of the town you're not going to see if you're not adventurous at all. I mean, if you're having a plan as a biker, I'm just telling, because bikers are just supposed to be adventurous people. So if you're one of those adventurous people, if you're actually looking for just trying to find the nature of the whatever the hell you have planned, or whatever you're going to your destination or whatever, don't look for the internet. They're not going to give you any advice for that, because the people who actually live around this area, they're not concerned over this. I mean, these artifacts, this historical areas or whatever. You have seen that there's no one here, no one is going there. Even the government don't maintain, and they could just make it really. I mean, they actually could make a lot of money to just advertise in this neighborhood, to advertise in this history, artifacts, or whatever the hell has happened here. But for the land, which every word around right now is using this ethanol alcohol for disinfection, for the against the coronavirus. This guy is just completely anonymous. Nobody knows him. I mean, nothing going on. It doesn't give any respect for the job he has done. And I mean, just imagine, this guy is a Muslim, so Muslims don't drink booze or alcohol and consume in any way. So imagine just he wasn't the Muslim, so he maybe find it much easier. I mean, they could just discover the alcohol long before that. But this alcohol, when I say alcohol, I mean the alcohol for disinfection, alcohol you're going to use it for industrial and sanitizing, I mean for surgeries or hospitals or whatever, something like that, not the alcohol you're going to drink. So anyway, but yeah, there is a nice history around this area. I just came here because there was a hospital around this area. I had jobs over there, and I used this opportunity to just make this vlog. If this fucking trucks ever let me to do that, anyway, never mind. There's a lot of stupid noise around, and it's really dusty. I can't just breathe and talk at the same time. But get my word, this town, this is a stupid town, 7,000 years ago, according to the Iranian culture, according to the Iranian historical culture, it was a glorious town. It was a magnificent town. But there's nothing much left. There's nothing left actually. I mean, it's just sold its own soul to the concrete factories and concrete stupidity. Yeah. What the hell? Thanks for watching. Keep on safe and respect your own culture. Maybe, and just Google this guy. I mean, there's some interesting information. Maybe you could find it. Anyway, goodbye.